sashimi. 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, Toon here back again. Well, following on from my, buying myself a Steam Deck basically. My mate's got the ROG Ally, which is what this is, and he's lent this to me to test it out and do a review of. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now. I've pretty much got used to everything on here. And this is the ROG Ally. So basically, this is more powerful than the actual Steam Deck. It can do a lot more. Basically, it's got a 8-core, 16-thread CPU on here, which I can boost up to 5.1 gigahertz, which is quite impressive. It's got an RDNA free graphics card, 16 gig of RAM, 7-inch screen with 120 hertz 1080p, and it does have Gorilla Glass and that on it as well for protection, and does 500 nits. It's got a 512 gig storage, Gen 4 NVMe drive, so it's pretty fast when loading and things, and a lot of various other ports and stuff you can use. So let's start. This is basically the ROG. This is the form factor you get with the ROG. So if I do my sticks, these light up. These are your 2 analog sticks. They're more like the Xbox position on this device. You have 2 nice speakers here. This thing has got very nice sound as well, by the way. The Steam Deck's got good sound as well, but I think the sound in here is slightly nicer. You have a D-pad as well, which is a raised D-pad. I don't know whether you can see. It's a very nice D-pad actually. It works surprisingly well, and I think it's a little bit nicer than the Steam Deck one. It's also got your 2 bumper buttons at the top. You have a headphone jack. You have an SD card slot. You have a ROG mobile phone or mobile slot. I'm not sure what that is. USB-C for charging, volume up and down, and your power button. On the back as well, as you see, there's 2 bumper buttons. These are raised, as you see. These are incredibly comfortable. They're the exact place where you pick this device up. They're in the perfect position for using. And there's where your blowers and everything are on the back, and on the bottom there's nothing essentially. So as you can see, this is a Windows 11 device, not a Linux device like the Steam Deck. So this is pretty much a Windows 11 PC, and if you've got something like this dock, which is meant for the Steam Deck but works fine with this, you can have this plugged to your television and you can use this as a Windows 11 PC. And because it does 1080p, you know, you pretty much, it's going to look pretty decent on a 4K set as well. And you could use it as your basically daily driver for a PC if you wanted to. I say this is quite impressive graphically what it can actually do as well. I've been testing it against same games on the Steam Deck. And for what I'm getting is, I would say that on the Steam Deck, you get in 720p or, 800p, whichever you want to look at it. And you get in sort of maybe low to medium settings, and if you tweak it to get 60 hertz, so 60 fps, and you set your Steam Deck to like 15 watts on some games, you can get quite similar performance on this, but you're talking 1080p instead of 720p, and this thing will boost up to 30 watts. So there's a lot more overhead on this than it is on the Steam Deck. So this is more powerful than the Steam Deck. So I won't go into Windows because it's basically just Windows. So if you've used Windows before, you know exactly what to expect. It is what it is. So let's get into going into some games. So we'll go into Steam, and then I'll go into Library. Oh, I will say as well, this doesn't have touchpads like the like Steam does basically. And the Steam Deck, sorry. What you can do on this is you can click this button in, which brings up Armory Crate, and then you can change this to desktop mode. You can have auto mode, or you can have gamepad. So if you change it to desktop mode, you can use this as the mouse, and then these are your left click and right click buttons on the mouse. You may think that's a bad idea with the Steam Deck having the touchpads, which is quite nice. But in reality, the touchpads, they are a little bit tricky to use and to get really precise movement out of them. And then when you're copying and highlighting things. And to be honest, using the stick works just as well, to be honest. So I don't think having the touchpads is that much of an advantage. So we'll use this, may as well, since I got it turned on. We'll go into Library, and then we'll show you Tekken 8. Tekken 8, by the way, is very, very good. I did pick this up. This is a demo on you because it's not my account. So I did, I did pick this up basically myself, and it's really good. So I'm going to change back into gameplay mode. What also in here is you got your, your screen brightness, your volume up and down. You can have operating mode, so you can have silent performance. 25 watt, 10 watt. Sometimes it'll boost up to 30 watt as well. So we're going to put this on the top 25 at the moment. You got game profiles. You can add stuff in and out of this menu as well. And you can change resolution, 120 hertz, and various other things. This does work pretty well, to be honest, for tweaking games, but it isn't quite to the same level of the Steam Deck's got for tweaking. With the Steam Deck, you can do a lot more tweaking to your games to get them running. But being Linux, you do have to, sometimes you have to use a different sort of software layer to get your games running, but generally most games run. So we were in gamepad mode, so we'll go back. I'll show how well this runs. This is basically, I've got Tekken set on medium settings at 1080p. I'll turn it up a little bit. I also find sometimes the volume slider doesn't always work. I don't know why. Because every now and then it just stops working, which is a bit weird. That's literally a Windows bug, Tekken does run on the Steam Deck as well. I haven't tried it personally myself, but you have got to cut it down quite a bit and do a bit of tweaking to get the best out of it. You'll have a go, Kazuya. I say this would probably look pretty decent on a TV screen as well. Being 1080p and medium settings, it's going to look pretty nice. You do get a little bit of jerkiness occasionally when they load in, but it plays very good. I do like the D-pad on this. As you can see, it runs very well and it looks fantastic as well. I didn't really have to do much tweaking either, basically. It's just put on the higher wattage to get most out of your processor. Get in there. So you can see Tekken runs extremely well and looks very nice as well. Same as some of the other games I've tried on here as well. They all look very good. I haven't found anything that it doesn't run at the moment because you've basically got Windows. So from the ones I've tried anyway, So you can see that's Tekken, guys. So with the other buttons you've got here, you've got a button here which changes whatever you're playing at the time. And it goes back to Army Crate, or it can go to your desktop. Army Crate is Asus's own setup. They've got, I particularly don't like it very much, to be honest, but it is integrated within this unit. And you can press it again, so you can switch between two applications really fast, which is very useful. So we're going to cancel out of this. You can see how well Tekken runs on here, and this is obviously a brand new release. Let's get out of here. So let's have a look what else we got. We can show you working on here. What have I actually tried myself? Yeah, let's have a look what else. Oh, Metro. This would be a good test. Metro, I compared this to the Steam Deck. I checked on my Steam Deck. It does work on the Steam Deck. You do have to run it 720, 40 frames a second to get pretty decent performance out of it. and you get a pre-lock 40 and it looks pretty nice. Comparable settings on this, you can run 1080p and you get in 60 FPS, and then you can still boost it even higher with the boost modes. So it is quite a bit more powerful than the actual Steam Deck. So I'll continue. I'll just show you the game running.
When it has been years since anyone's heard anything but static and white noise.
So type of game I did play for a while, and then I had to send a PC back, so I need to get back into it because I was quite enjoying it.
My comrades from the order.
I end up playing through it on the Steam Deck, to be honest. Yeah, so basically you can see you got your settings, how well this actually runs and looks on you. It looks very nice. My controls at the moment are the wrong way around, but you get the idea. I say with the Steam Deck, same settings, I'm getting 720p at 40 FPS. On your 1080p at 60 FPS. And we still got more overhead if needed. You can do various other things on here as well, like you can, like I say, you can change the resolution. Plus, you can do frame rate limited. Plus, you can also show the real-time monitoring as well, very similar to what the Steam Deck can actually do. So you can basically tweak your performance. Like you're seeing at the moment, I'm getting 60 FPS. Looks pretty locked. Oh, it's jumping up above that. It tells you your battery and everything. I will say though, because obviously you're boosting a lot more in this, your battery does run out pretty quick. You probably get like an hour or so if you run it, if you're really boosting the game. But it does have a 65-watt charger, and this thing does charge pretty fast, to be honest. And if you're in the house, just plug it in and use it that way for your best performance and stuff out of it. So that's Metro. So we'll cancel back. So there's a game I need to basically go through. I did notice one thing though on the Steam Deck. If you play Control on the Steam Deck, you can pick ray tracing. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't run with ray tracing, but you can pick it and it runs dreadful. But you can't pick it on this for some reason, ray tracing. I don't exactly know why you can't do it on this. So I'm going to change back to desktop mode. And then I'm going to use the mouse and I'm going to basically cancel this out. We'll go to Xbox. I don't know what the hell I've just loaded up. Okay, so let's get out of this. Oh, we're on Steam big mode. How the hell do I get out of big mode? That's the question. Right, so I want to cancel out of this. I want to get back. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way instead. And it's changed. No, it hasn't. Right, struggling to get out of Steam big mode now. Hopefully this is not going to shut off the machine. Turn off. Exit Steam big mode. Right, anyway, we're out. We're back. So I am going to minimize this, and then I'm going to go to Xbox. Nice thing about this as well, because it's Windows, you can get all the storefronts on you, no problems at all. Just install them like you would on a PC. On the Steam Deck, it's a little bit more tricky. You've got to side load the stores with third-party apps and stuff, and they're a bit tricky to get up and running, some of them. But yeah, because it's Windows, you literally just works. So I'm going to go to streaming. So this will do cloud streaming. I tell you what, I wasn't streaming, can sometimes be hit or miss, but this is surprisingly good on you. I was really surprised how well this actually works. It is playable. Like, obviously you're probably losing a couple of frames, whatever, and you're losing a bit of input latency or whatever because it's streaming, but it surprisingly feels all right. So I'm going to show you Halo streaming. You can also download all these and put them on here as well. But you can see with the metrics at the top, at the moment it's boosting to almost 4 gigahertz. So we'll get into a bit of Halo. Oh, I've got to put it back in. You can use the auto mode. That sort of does work. I find it's better just to pick the one you want. At least you know where you are. The lights around the sticks is quite nice, but in the dark they are a bit of a pain. You probably can turn them off, but I haven't looked, to be honest, to see if you can turn them off. So if I'll go into the campaign, show you how well this streaming actually works. You do occasionally get a bit of, you know, with this buffing, you don't get like a perfect screen. But apart from that, and it looks nice as well. You're on nice graphic settings when you're streaming. I haven't tried the PlayStation streaming, but I've been informed it doesn't work particularly too well. But I haven't tried it myself to confirm it. But yeah, so basically you're streaming this. And as you can see, it's running very nice and plays good as well. You know, to be honest, I could probably play through this like this. It wouldn't be a problem. Swines there. I still haven't finished this Halo. Oop. So everything on you, basically, you can just stream it if you want. In fact, I'm thinking you can get this set up on the Stream Deck. On the Steam Deck, sorry, not Stream Deck. You can get it set up on there, but it's you can only stream. You can't install games on there, from what I found out. But it might be worth me signing up for the slightly more expensive Xbox setup, and then I can get the streaming as well. But it seems, you know, it seems pretty damn responsive, to be honest, like, as you can see. And it runs nice as well. I think I don't know what frame rate are we getting. Yeah, we're getting 100, like I thought, it is running 120 frames, because it looks really smooth. That's amazing for a streaming, isn't it? To actually run 120 frames. That's very impressive. As I say, you could install this as well. You gotta pull them, take the shield off them. So you get the idea of streaming. It works very well. So we're gonna get out of this. I'm gonna cancel that. So you can see it's nice and quick. It's really handy for streaming. I've got quite a lot of games I've set up on here. So if I go back, like I said, it does have Emu Deck as well. So you can set this up for emulators and everything as well. But I can't do that at the moment because I've had a bit of a slight problem. This is the elephant in the room, essentially. It's a really nice device. I find it more comfortable than the Steam Deck. It's more powerful than the Steam Deck. It does have a better screen than my Steam Deck, but you know, it's not I wouldn't say it was a better screen than the 90Hz OLED on the new Steam Deck. That screen is beautiful, by the way. But yeah, you know, this does outperform my Steam Deck and everything. Slight snag is there's a problem with the SD card slots on these. A lot of people have had problems with not using SD cards, and unfortunately this one has developed the same problem. When you're running games on you, this gets damn hot. It gets really hot when you run it full, and it causes problems to the SD card slot. And it's basically, I think it's pretty much broke the SD card slot. So unfortunately this has got to go back from repair. It is a known issue which Asus themselves have owned up to, saying there is a problem. Supposedly it was fixed in this model, but it isn't, because I can't use an SD card anymore. Also, Armory crate. If you put an SD card in this, I didn't want to show what was going on at the time. When you put an SD card in this will come up and say, oh, do you want to use it for saves? If you click yes, it locks the SD card. So you can only read the SD card. You can't put any games or anything on there. And you can't unlock the bloody thing. I've tried everything. PowerShell, software, you know, every trick in the book to try and do it. And you can't unlock the SD card. Which is a bit of a problem. So that's the elephant in the room, unfortunately, with this. I'm going to show, let's have a look. Where are we going? Let's show a bit of Raiden on you. I haven't actually loaded the game up from within you. Yeah, so unfortunately, that is a bit of a problem with this device. Is that SD card slot is knackered. There's nothing wrong with it. If you look at the pins on there, there's no pins bent on nothing. But what you'll do is, you'll put an SD card in here. You'll put an SD card in here. It'll recognise it at first, and it'll work for a couple of minutes, and then it'll lock the machine up. So unfortunately, this does have to go back for repair. Like, it's getting warm now. I do think this D-pad is in a slightly nicer position than up here. The one on the Steam Deck can be a little bit of a stretch sometimes. And it does feel a little bit more ergonomic, to be honest. It's exactly where your thumb is. And those are exactly where these fingers are as well, which is very good. Say with the 120Hz screen as well, it is noticeably smoother. I say everything I've chucked at it so far works, and being able to play Tekken, I think you're going to be able to play a lot of the modern games on here. Plus, obviously, you can tweak them down a bit, like you could, you know, run lower resolutions or whatever, or you know, chuck the settings down a bit. So you should be pretty good with this device for quite a while, I think. Obviously, you ain't got Valve tweaking settings for the Steam Deck, like on here, but you know, you got full Windows, you can do that yourself. I do like this D-pad though. The D-pad is nice and raised. It's a little bit like it's a bit like a mini version of the Mega Drive pad. It's got a nice tilt to it when you actually use it. So if I quit out to that, I'll go back to Armor Crate. I say this Armor Crate is software that it's got all your settings. You can add things in and out to it. You know, you can connect the device. You can change your content. You can change content or whatever. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. I did have it on my PC, but I took it off. I don't particularly like Armor Crate, to be honest, but it is integrated as the main part of this device, the same as, you know, Steam is on the old Steam Deck, to be honest. So, the ROG Ally, what do I think of it compared to the Steam Deck and what I've been playing? I've got to be honest, I actually really like this device. I think the controls are lovely on it. I think it's very ergonomic. Feels nice to play. And it does have that extra bit of power as well, and the high resolution screen with the higher refresh rate. It's a very nice device indeed. Being the same price as the Steam Deck, I'm glad. Well, they were about 700, I think, when they first came out, so they've dropped the price quite a bit. So they're very competitive to a Steam Deck, I would say, at the moment. Would I recommend this over the 90Hz OLED screen on the Steam Deck? I suppose it depends what you want. If you want more performance and actual Windows itself, well, yeah, maybe I would, but you know, if you want just something that's an integrated handheld with a beautiful screen, the Steam Deck's one to go. What I would say about having Windows on this device, the Steam Deck works really well having Linux, because it's literally all set up as a handheld device. With Windows, it's really set as a desktop device. So you really sort of need to use a mouse. You can use your finger to set this up. So it's got all the trappings of a Windows device in some ways, where the Steam Deck is set up to be a little bit more sort of user-friendly, if you know what I'm saying. But if you wanted to use the Steam Deck as a desktop PC, you could do that, but you'd have to get used to using Linux. Not if it's going to stop you, you know, if you want to browse the net, get your emails on it, you know, run your games off it onto a screen. But you'd only literally, you probably could put the resolution up on a external screen, but I'm not sure how it would work. I haven't actually tried it. But this being, you know, just a bog standard Windows device, essentially, with a 1080p screen, you know, as a daily driver PC, you could just buy this and use it as a PC, which is a pretty nice thought. You could do that, so you can just pick it up and use it as handheld, use it as a PC. If you're not too bothered about staying right up the top with, you know, top end gaming and stuff, and you just want something you can play on the move and dock it in when you go home, is great. The only, because it's going to sound a little bit unfair now, unfortunately, as much as I really like this device, and I think this is really nice, the problem with the SD card is a bit of a big issue, to be honest. And it's a bit hard to ignore that issue, because this is literally, that SD card is literally balked at this moment in time. You know, you can run everything fine off the internal, but then you're stuck with 512. So supposedly they have fixed this problem in later revisions of this device. This is a later revision of than the early revisions, but they still got it because it's caused a problem with the SD card. So as it stands with the SD card problem, without being able to have another one of these devices to, you know, basically try out a fixed version of this device, it's a little bit hard to recommend over a Steam Deck. I've also been looking online as well, and there seems to be a lot of people who've got this problem who literally just don't use any SD cards in them anymore. They just use the internal. The only problem I found with that is that running emulators off here, when you go into Emu Deck and you set it back up, it searches for your devices and your hard drives to install the Emu Deck software and all where your ROMs and everything are. Because Emu Deck is not dedicated for this device, it's a beta Windows version, it doesn't pick up the hard drive in this. So I can't get it to install unless you got an SD card, which unfortunately I did have an SD card and I did have it all set up, and this thing was running emulators fantastic. It was running Switch emulators, it was running GameCube, Dreamcast, Atomic Wave, PS2, PS1. It was running them all perfect, to be honest. It was running fantastic. And then after I was using it for about a week, the SD card slot broke, which it's a bit gutting because it's not my device, so I feel a bit responsible here, which is a bit of a problem as well. So I am gonna have to end up buying another SD card for my mate, because that one is locked, and I've spoken to him. He's going to send this back for repair. So what I suspect they'll probably do is this will go back for repair. They'll just send him a new unit, a new fixed unit with a fixed SD card. So I need to obviously give this back to him. So if it didn't have the SD card problem, I think I would recommend this over the Steam Deck. But if you want a no LED screen and you're happy with not quite so much powerful, well, not quite so good performance, you know, the Steam Deck OLED is a pretty fantastic device. So yeah, so without that SD card problem, it is a bit of a shame is I can't recommend this device as it is. But you know, forgetting the SD card problem, this is a fantastic PC handheld. It's a very, very good PC handheld that I like a lot, to be honest. And in a lot of ways, I like it better than my Steam Deck. But Steam Deck is set up a little bit easier. The other thing with the Steam Deck is when it comes to configuring to get your game set up, the Steam Deck does have a lot more options for doing it. So you can tweak stuff a little bit easier in the Steam Deck. But, you know, it's not if you can't tweak stuff in here and add some of these extra to it. So anyway, guys, that's the ROG Ally. Like I said, it's a very nice device indeed. It does have that one problem which makes me can't recommend it. But you know, see what you think about this device, guys. If you are going to buy one of these and you like the look of it, And I would make sure that you get one off the ROG Ally site, and make sure you get a new version, and be wary about the SD card problem, and be careful when you put the take the SD card out, put it back in. Do not agree to use it as a save for this software, because it will lock your SD card, and then you're pretty much screwed. You can't unlock it. You can only use it to read from at that point, and there's no way of fixing it. The other thing that these slots are actually doing is breaking SD cards. Like that slot, if I put my hand on it now, even though we haven't done particularly too much, that slot is very hot. Apparently it's a thermal problem. I think what it's doing is probably causing dry joints and stuff on the actual board, because the heat from the like this side is reasonably cooler. The heat from it must be either the GPU or the CPU. A lot of it is coming out of this side of the actual machine. So yeah, anyway guys, that's the ROG Ally. Very, very nice device. It does have that one issue which makes it very hard to recommend, but I do like this device a lot. So take that as you will, and you know, make a decision for yourselves. But it's pretty cool to have a handheld Windows device that essentially you can use as a standard Windows PC that'll run all your games, and it runs your games pretty damn good as well. So anyway guys, so that's the review of that. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and who knows what's going to be next, we will see. So I'll catch you around. Bye bye.